We are live. We are live. This is the Wrestling for Life Network. We are here for TNA Impact. We got a lot going down tonight on this card. This is the go home show before Sacrifice. Sacrifice airs tomorrow at 8 on Triller and on the TNA Plus app. We'll be here tonight to go down throughout the entire episode. I'm looking forward to it. I'm the resident TNA guy for this channel, but let's get into it. As I said, we are live. This is a TNA Impact live stream. There's a lot going down tonight. This is the go home show for Sacrifice, which airs tomorrow. I am not alone, though. We got Big Nick here, too.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the Wrestling for Life Network proudly brings you its YouTube tag stream champions of the world, the man who puts the T in TNA, Ringsider Anthony. I am Big Nick. KJ got broken by last night's Dynamite. Man's crashing out, but he will be back tomorrow afternoon. Again, reminder, tomorrow afternoon, because Barcelona. But KJ will be back for SmackDown, and then we got Sacrifice, like you said. Sir, how you doing?
I am doing good. I've been in and out this week in the wrestling world. I barely watched NXT. I did catch the majority of Monday Night Raw. I was in and out with Dynamite last night, but it's been a wild week from what I'm hearing, at least when it comes to the AEW standpoint.
Yeah, not exactly the greatest show. Very much a swing and a miss last night. The KJ's on the campaign. Tony, you will apologize. Because coming off of Revolution being at that high of a level, and then I get that everything was probably because people were injured, people were banged up and everything, but that's what happens when you have those type of matches, Tony. But I digress. But you couldn't do anything with taping or anything. Like the whole show felt like pre-tapes. And remember when WWE would ever have those shows of like they got snowed in or something like that and had to do everything from Titan Towers? It felt like that kind of a night.
I know Revolution was great. I enjoyed Revolution from start to main event. Let's just say it like that. The main event was a bust, but every match kind of delivered at Revolution. The tag match, I don't think going into it was super excited about the tag match, the AEW World Tag Team Championship match. It was solid, but I mean every other match except the main event hit. And I think I was going into Dynamite with some high expectations after Revolution, and from what I saw, it wasn't the best episode at all.
No. But I know you said you were a little tapped out and everything, but I do want to ask how you feel coming out of Roadblock, going in tonight, going into Sacrifice. How is TNA doing? How you feeling? Because we obviously had the NXT TNA with Roadblock, and now we're getting kind of a payoff, kind of a continuation of this working partnership with Sacrifice.
Yeah, Roadblock was great. I really enjoyed Moose versus Obafemi. I think obviously the right person won there. I wasn't pulling for TNA because I'm the TNA guy. Oba needs to have that title in NXT. I do hope in the future we'll get some title swaps. I think that'll happen. I think we're still a little bit testing the waters there and how that would work. But Oba versus Moose was easily a really, really great match, maybe even match of the night. And you got Jordan Grace. It's funny that the first three matches either involved former TNA talent or current TNA talent. So you had the Hardys, you had Jordan Grace next, and then you had Moose and Obafemi after that. And it was just the pacing of the show was really great. It was like Revolution, of how Revolution just went from match to match to match. That's how Roadblock was on Tuesday. It was like match after match after match, and each match delivered in its appropriate way.
Oh, yeah, and you started off with the tag team match that we've all wanted for a while. May not be the last that we see of the Hardys in NXT at all. May run it back with Fraxium. We see Ethan Page. Maybe calls in another former Impact wrestler. I mean, well, because also, too, Speedball Mike Bailey debuted on Dynamite. Your thoughts, your feelings, your take.
Oh, yeah, Speedball. So I I know I've been outspoken a little bit on the channel about not wanting Speedball to go to AEW. That didn't mean I wanted Speedball in WWE. I really think Speedball likes to run the indie scene. He's like at 8 or 9 shows in one weekend and wrestles all 3 of them, or all 8 of them, I should say. But I hope this is the best for him. I really do hope that it's the best. He's really good in ring. One thing that Mike Bailey does lack is a character. I didn't know Mike Bailey actually spoke until he won the X Division Championship, last
Oh, come
year.
on. He's the Karate Kid. He's coming out to brass monkey. That funky monkey.
Right. So it's like maybe that's something he can develop in AEW, but I mean his wrestling style might fit better in AEW than anywhere else at this point.
I will say, and this might be a spoiler for predictions or anything like that coming down the road, but I think the next couple matches we're going to see with Mike Bailey are going to be really freaking good, and that's really going to cement him to a bigger audience a bit, to the AEW audience, because I think it lines up, it's him versus OC next.
Yeah.
Which that'll be a good match, despite pockets, however you feel on that. That still will be a good match. I think ultimately he wins the tournament and faces Omega, because that match to me will be really good. That is indie darling, the high speed fly ball, speed ball, what have you, taking on the one winged angel. That's a guy to make Mike Bailey really over with that whole audience.
Yeah, I agree there. And his match last night, no doubt, really showed that he still has it. Like that was a good match against what is it, Beast Mortos? I
Yes.
think that who he wrestled last night. So I did see that match, and man, he still has it. So I'm excited to see where this goes. I just hope it lands. A lot of talent that's been signed recently, and I'm gonna always bring her up. Deonna Purrazzo just hasn't been used. So we'll see. We'll see. I'll end it like that, saying we'll see.
Fair enough. But we'll see. Let's see who's seeing us. That was a weird transition, but saying hi to the chat. How we doing? Bradley giving a membership out here for, I saw this, the fight for the other night. So did you see, I don't know if you probably would have seen it, but there was a Toronto Maple Leafs player that basically tried to do his best Roman Reigns impersonation and tried to hit the Superman punch in the start of a hockey fight.
No, I did not see that. Now I kind of have to see it.
And man went full off the skates and everything. But shout out Bradley. Thank you, the goddamn Santa Claus of the channel out here. Kevin, what up? Sean KG, your show last night was better than this whole episode of Dynamite last night. I'll never give up on AEW though. Eric, hey, Wrestling for Life buddies. Can't wait for Masha versus LEI versus Cora and Tessa. Ooh, I got that wrong. And Rosemary versus Xia. And don't worry, tonight should be better than last night. We hope. We hope.
Yeah, I think tonight will be better than last night. Hopefully.
Well, right there. That's a lot of women on the card and everything in prominent positions. I mean, still Tessa's a little bit of a lightning rod with that situation, but I think overall that's a solid, card there.
Oh yeah, definitely. Rosemary versus Xia Li is something that just came out of nowhere last week. I forgot who not Rosemary. I forgot who Xia Brookside fought last week. It might have been Savannah Evans, but Rosemary was up there lurking in the shadows. So that's kind of what set up this one right here for tonight.
Going out staying with it. But Damien, what up? Leader of the Hopium Tribe. Can't wait to watch final TNA Impact until Sacrifice. Yeah, the go home show. Every time I say Sacrifice, I'm sorry, I just always think of Scott Steiner and the promo and everything of Sacrifice. That's where I always go with this. MDB, what up? What up? Jordan, Mike Rouse, the knee pads are on patrol. Christopher Cox, Adam. TNA is the new AEW 2019. And yeah, KJ brought this up last night. I know we've talked about this at times, you especially at length, of how TNA has really kind of brought back that same vibe of what AEW had. Like AEW now is not what AEW was, and what AEW was, I feel like TNA has kind of captured that kind of vibe, that feel.
Yeah, TNA is definitely, I feel like TNA gives the best of both worlds in a way. It does tell stories and it has very good wrestling. The stories might not be the best in TNA, but they are easy to follow along if you just want to kind of jump into TNA. And I think WWE does well with stories. AEW is kind of lacking in that area a little bit, but I think TNA is really is really the alternative at this point because I see more and more people talking about it online, people that were lapsed fans, people that, you know, still watched in the dark ages of TNA when it was Impact Wrestling back in, you know, 2015 and 2016, and they're coming back to watching it. So yeah, TNA is really putting its best foot forward in this
Oh,
year.
absolutely. Bigger numbers throughout every show. I can't remember. I saw a thing going around today about how their next kind of series of tapings and everything is already set up to be like some of their highest attended stuff of all time.
Yeah.
And it goes to show when you see the reaction to a Jordan Grace showing up, when you see the reaction to a Moose, the Hardys. Now, granted, the Hardys are a bit of a special case, but when you see those crossovers, granted, yes, it is just because it's somebody from outside WWE showing up. But TNA is now known. Like Jordan Grace was known before she ever showed up in WWE by
Right.
the WWE audience.
Right, absolutely. And I mean, the whole partnership and everything that kind of ran with this, you know, was put a little bit on Jordan Grace's back and was put on Joe Hendry's back as well. And it's really has proved time and time again that that this is here and this is here to stay for a moment, for a minute. And I even like the fact that Jordan Grace is still promoting TNA on her social medias, you know, and tagging TNA and stuff. So it's really good that the relationship there is still good.
Right. But I got under 3 minutes before the show kicks off here, so I'm gonna try and rapid fire some of these names. If you see I miss anybody, let me know. AD and AZ, TNA go home show or bust. Let's go. Absolutely. Damien, the Jeff Cobb stuff. We'll talk about that. If I get through this in enough time, we'll talk about the Jeff Cobb stuff. If not, I'm sure we'll bring it up at some point.
Right.
Trey, what up? Cooper out there on Twitch. Reminder, folks, we are on Twitch. We do have the Twitter, the Instagram, the Discord. We got this, that. We got the merch store. We got all the bits and bobbles and anything for your pro wrestling needs out there. And help us reach the goal over there. We're trying to just get to 50 followers so far. I think we're at like 44, maybe 45. So we're close, ever so close.
Very
And we just
close,
started.
very close.
Right. Cherokee George, evening all. Dynamite was pure sadness. I feel bad that like most of the comments so far have been talking about how bad Dynamite was last night. Let's embrace the good. We're going to have much better wrestling tonight than what we saw with Dynamite. We know it was a swing and a miss, but now we get the good side. We get to feel that vintage vibe of what AEW could be, would be, should be, was be.
Right. We got Joe Hendry defending the title tonight. So that just says a lot right there.
And that's one of the least talked about things on this card.
Right.
That's not even a match. He doesn't get, does he have a match on No, he's in the 10-man tag on Sacrifice.
Yeah, the 10-man tag cage match. A lot going down in that match.
Which I feel is being slept on. I didn't realize, so I looked at the card today that was on there. I was like, they don't have Lethal Lockdown? No, none of that? No, War Games?
Right.
But Sin, what up? Even chat, Anthony, Nick, we here. Absolutely. And we're glad you're here. Vance, what up? Vance, spoiler, Nick. What did I say was a spoiler? I don't know.
I didn't hear anything.
Maybe just spoiling that we're going to have better wrestling than last night. I don't think that's a hard, thing to jump over. If there was a limbo competition, it might be more difficult. But if it's a fucking high vault, different odds. But C Money, what up? Dale, I acknowledge you, my tribal chief. I love you, Dale. Dale, what up?
What's up, Dale?
TJ Dawn, what up?
What's up, Dawn?
I believe 316. Sorry, I do think that TNA is the number 2 company behind WWE. You do, you don't, because I don't know if you need to be sorry for saying that, but
right. But if you do, well, thank you. We deserve all the love over here in TNA.
Man's kitted out. Man's got the TNA background, the TNA shirt on. If you didn't know, this man was a TNA fan.
Right.
as I have live events starting soon, sir. So yes,
That's
me
what
and
I
Anthony are syncing up. I think we're both watching on TNA Plus.
right.
For the hashtag not sponsored low price of $9.99, which they also just changed their package deals and everything. Again,
Yeah,
hashtag
to a
not
cheaper
sponsored, but
price.
TNA if you want to.
Right.
I'll do something strange for a little piece of change. Come on. TNA #1. Michael Spikes says I'm kicking it off with.
Yeah, I got the good hands.
Yes. So we are
Okay.
also
So
going
we're
to
good.
have tonight. Where is it? The summit of Mike Santana and Mustafa Ali. And I think this is one of the best things TNA's got going.
Oh yeah. I didn't think they were gonna do this match so quickly tomorrow, but man, am I pumped for this match tomorrow at Sacrifice. And I think if anybody watched TNA last week, I'm 99% sure Mike Santana peed in Mustafa Ali's coffee. I'm just going to leave it there.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I was going to ask more reasonable questions like how did Tasha Steele get involved with Ali? Did I miss that? Did I sleep on it? But no, this is, I think Mustafa's becoming very much a top guy, especially with the TNA. I like that he signed there. Mike Santana is very much, he was up for like one of our breakout awards and everything for last year. He is very much establishing himself as a top guy in pro wrestling, period.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. He's really at the top right now of his game, and he'll be a top guy in TNA. I'm hoping by summer, honestly.
Right. Well, he's been to the top of the mountain. He's been out there, been a champion, and now I like the idea that you're hearing talks of like WWE's interested, this, that, and the third.
Yeah. That's somebody that can definitely cross the line and show up on NXT or something.
Is this when I do the Peter Griffin, meme? He said it, cross the line. He said it. He did the TNA thing. But Philip, what up? Hi, Anthony and Nick. Poor KJ last night. Dynamite broke him. Yes, Dynamite absolutely broke the man. He's in shambles. He's in shatters, but he'll piece himself back together tomorrow for Friday Night SmackDown. Quick plug and reminder, because special start time, 1:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will be live when they are live.
Yes,
they're over in Barcelona, but we'll be live.
Exactly. KJ is going to give y'all Friday midday SmackDown. So
absolutely. Well, and then we're going to be back here like a jackrabbit too later that night for Sacrifice. So we got double header action. What?
Exactly.
And so I've got. So this is the system. JC versus Cody Deaner.
Yeah.
Hey, shout out Deaner. I think he's done a cameo for the channel before.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Shout out. But Alan, what up? What do you think about 2025 WWE draft between Alan? That's a little long to get in the tooth with this one, but
we got to get through WrestleMania before we start talking about the draft.
Yeah, let's put
there's a lot going on right now.
And we don't know what the landscape will be post WrestleMania.
Right. We don't know what will happen post WrestleMania. I think we'll know all of that like in that first week, Monday Night Raw after Mania and that Friday Night SmackDown.
Right. But
so I think we're starting off with the Eddie Edwards and yes, that one right there.
There we go. I saw JDC and I got excited, I guess. I started doing the but yes, so we are kicking it off with Eddie Edwards versus Leon Slater. Winner gets the advantage in the 10-man tag steel cage match. It feels so weird that doesn't have a better sounded name like Lethal Lockdown, War Games, Survivor Series.
Exactly. And then the advantage thing, I'm not sure if it's like one person coming in at a time, like a War Games type thing. Nothing's really been kind of explained, and that's kind of a drop the ball moment on TNA's part, but they might explain it tomorrow, during the pre-show or right before the match, because I'm not understanding the advantage, option here.
Yeah, well, it's like budget War Games. They just got the games and no war. Or all war and no games, because it's one ring. And what is the advantage? So you can't win the match until the last person's
now
in.
here we go. I think they are explaining the rules now.
Yeah, so it is war games. It's all games, no war. 2 5-team competitors, 2 competitors begin the match after 2 minutes. A new competitor. So it is fucking war games.
It's their version of war games. Okay.
Boo! Boo!
I was just TNA. I'm sorry.
Set for a second cage or do the fucking legal lockdown or something. Get the dome up on top of there and everything. That was almost
right.
But we're underway, folks. So let us know who you taking, whether you're taking Leon or Eddie. Eddie, heels always have the advantage going in matches like this.
I feel that. I think Eddie takes this. I think the faces all win tomorrow, but the heels get the advantage tonight.
Yeah, I'm much more of a fan of Leon Slater than I am of Eddie, but yeah, just booking storyline wise, Eddie gets the win. They get the advantage going into it. It's tried and true war games booking.
Yeah, absolutely.
But Spaz with a $10 super chat, which, by the way, folks, I apologize if we miss any of your comments, if we're behind on the chat or anything like that. We do have the super chats and all of that. So you make sure you show out and help support us. Woody, Nikki, Tricky, and Sticky. Well, I got to have all the icky shit. And sweet, subtle, sensual, sexual, and sensational Tony. That rolled off the tongue way too well.
It did.
The onion rings. I'm going to Under Siege live in May. Well, you might see somebody from the channel there. Not saying anything, but you may see. Also, Sacrifice preview up now. WWE trademarked Awesome Ego. Ooh, no, not the Miz. Not the Miz.
Yeah, I saw that. I think it was today or yesterday that they're bringing back Under Siege. I didn't think Under Siege was happening this year, so I'm glad it's coming back. That's my first TNA event that I ever attended. So it holds a special place.
There you go. There you go.
Ooh,
Leon with a hurricane run off the steps.
One of these commercial breaks, I feel like we have to talk about Naomi, Jade, and Bianca because I have a lot to say.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I've been waiting. I've been patient. I was waiting for you to bring it up. You bringing the tea kettle to the party. We get it. We get it. That's the first time I think we made sure we were in sync. We just expected because US instead of no Canada that we were good.
Right.
Sorry, KJ, but Rocco, what up? I was thinking if Rock will have his new corporate group with Travis Scott and Cena, I think R-Truth would fit perfectly in. No, that man's broken. He's shattered.
Exactly. R-Truth still can't believe that his childhood hero has turned.
Now, have you heard the potential alleged group name for that of the Rock and Soul Connection?
I did hear that today.
That's got to be a troll. That's got
it has to be.
That's some fan said that on Twitter, and someone probably Meltzer sourced it.
Exactly.
Right. Saying you guys make watching wrestling better. No, you guys make us better. I appreciate that a lot.
We can't do this without you guys.
Absolutely. We're just one big family.
Right.
Ronan, what up? I'm behind. Sorry. John C, what up? Alexis, what up? Bonkers. I'm trying to rapid fire to get towards the bottom here. Spaz with a $5 super chat. Prediction TNA will rip off War Games better than the Mud Show did, just saying. But they had 2 rings. At least it's still blood and guts. It was still basically War Games without War Games. But Anarchy in the Arena is a different discussion. That's a whole different discussion because that's cars and flamethrowers and everything else. That's all sorts of nonsense. 2 count 2 count on Leon Slater. Sorry. Oh, Trey, I guess Dale heard you talking about Naomi and all that, and everybody's now getting excited. What makes you think it was Bianca? That name's so horrible. Yeah. I thought Liv want Freddie Freeman and Jade. What? Christopher, you lost me. I think you just tried to slip in a Freddie Freeman joke and it didn't land.
I think so.
But I got
Edwards have the upper hand at the moment right here.
Right. Folks, let us know again who you're taking in this match. Again, this is it is weird, like to basically have War Games in one cage That's a lot. That's
And
a
yeah, and that's
lot.
a lot of people. Like there's 5 on
That's how
each
do you
side
keep
in
track?
one ring, in one cage. It's like, I don't know how that will play out. If there's a company that can pull it off, it is TNA, but that's a little weird.
6-man, maybe.
Right.
I don't even know if
10?
you try an 8-man, but a 10-man. Like, how you keep track? How is you not slamming on somebody else?
Exactly. Exactly.
Ah,
It would be crazy if tomorrow we turn on Sacrifice and there is 2 rings and they just didn't tell us, but I don't know.
you bastards, you. MDB, the joke landed, you missed it, Nick. Well, there, swing and a miss. I guess I'm, home run or bust out here. But yes, folks, I see 53 people kicking it with us right now. How many likes we got on the stream? 58 likes, so we're right down near about even. Let's see if we can start raising it up to triple digits and everything like that.
Yeah, let's get it up to
Shows
about
TNA
100.
some love, and we'll be here every Thursday. Anthony will
Ex
be losing his mind.
Right. If we're here every Thursday, I'll be losing my mind. Absolutely. Eddie Edwards has slowed this match down to his pace, which
Well,
is always slow when it's Eddie Edwards.
yeah, he looks like a guy that a brisk jog to him is sprinting.
Ooh, nice kick by Leon.
Right. Spaz with another $5 super chat. Okay, walk with me. I don't know. After all the names you've called me, sir, I don't know if I want to walk with you anywhere. Rock, Cena, Miz, Batista, Logan, managed by Hogan, New Hollywood Underground. No. Kill it with fire. No.
I heard a rumor about LA Knight being in this group. Did you hear anything about that?
I have not heard nor seen anything. I mean, it might make sense of the Hollywood vibe and
Right.
LA Knight, but it'd be interesting. I mean, great talker on the mic. He's obviously been compared to, he has that same kind of cadence and everything a little bit, like how Ricky Saints gets compared to Dwayne.
Yeah.
LA's definitely been compared to Dwayne.
Yeah, compared to Dwayne and Stone Cold a little bit. So
Right.
yeah.
Crossbody from Leon. Dos amigos. Ooh, the wrestling god. Oh, hell no. No Hulk Hogan. Yeah. Hot tui on Hulk Hogan. John C. War Games ring could be one supersized ring instead of 2 rings put together. All right, so now we're going from AEW small rings and everything to now we're just going to have bigger rings and all that.
AEW small rings.
Right. Are we just Drake out here? I need some really big rings because I had a really big team.
Right, exactly. People hated that small ring too. It didn't bother me one bit.
That's just, to me, that is just, you're fucking looking for something to be bad.
Exactly.
Like, are you out there with a fucking ruler to your TV and everything? You're a dork at that point. The same people that stopwatch wrestling and everything. Sorry, not sorry at that point. Love you. You're a fucking nerd for doing that.
Yeah, like I noticed that it was smaller, but I was like, hey, it's a smaller ring. Like it didn't change anything for me. It's still a wrestling ring.
I can see Saints Knight or possibly Orton joining the faction with The Rock. Oh, I don't know about Orton.
Yeah, I don't. Orton needs to finish up with Kevin Owens, and then we can see how the build towards SummerSlam happens after that.
Would you, rather than see guys that you just feel are Hollywood? Oh, big crescent kick there from Leon on Eddie. Would it be more beneficial if it's heels that feel like they're justified, like they've been screwed over, like say a Drew? That's why a lot of people thought Drew could have been the one who sold his soul and everything. What if it is a KO that sides with Dwayne at this point? Well, screw it. I'm gonna be in the system to beat the system type of shit.
Yeah, I think that would be cool for Kevin Owens to. Oh, wait, Slater's going to the top. Oh,
so it's almost like you knew he was gonna have to move. Oh, into the ring post. Small. Oh,
Eddie Edwards is about to win this Boston knee party. Yep.
Instead of a shining wizard, is that more like a sparkler wizard?
A little bit.
Is that like, instead of, David Blaine or David Copperfield or whatever the fuck, it's Chris Angel. That's more, birthday party magician wizard.
A little bit with a little twist calling it the Boston Knee Party because he's from Boston.
Well, again, that explains why I don't like him. He's from Boston.
But yes, Kevin Owens, going back to your original question. Yeah, Kevin Owens joining that like little circle, little group would be pretty cool. Just like, what? I can't do this alone. Maybe I need to join them. I don't know.
Well, it doesn't even have to be KO, but I like the idea of if it's true. I don't know if it exactly needs people added to it. It would still be interesting. It depends on how much legs you're going to give this. Because again, Cena, finite timeline. Dwayne can do this till he's Vince's age, realistically, because he's still Dwayne. And if he's not going to wrestle, all he has to do is cut promos and take up time. He's good at that, and he can keep doing it. Cena's on a finite time limit, though.
Yeah. Cena has like 10 months left. So
yes,
absolutely, this is very finite for him. I think
right as we're
to a commercial break. So can we talk about Naomi, Bianca, and Jade?
Man's been itching. Let me. So we're getting Wes Lee versus Laredo Kid coming up out of this commercial break. Hi, Boston. You must.
What's up, Boston? You're late too. We'll talk about that after stream.
Fair enough. Claire, what up? Last thing, Spaz with a $5 super chat. Bring the world together for the perfect interpromotional intergender match. Demon Finn Balor versus Rosemary versus Javon Evans versus Abaddon. Hashtag WFU. You had me at one point and then you threw in Javon. But yes, sir. Your thoughts, your feelings, your opinions. Spill the tea. Tea time with Tony here on Bianca, Naomi, and Jade.
So first I want to say that the segment on Friday Night SmackDown was absolutely put together perfectly, right? When it comes to Naomi turning and being the attacker, I think it was a great choice, right? I was behind Bianca, kind of being the attacker. I was kind of petitioning that and things of that sort. But the way it was presented, the way it was done on Friday Night SmackDown was pure perfection. And by the way, they're promoting the WWE game during a TNA broadcast if nobody is paying attention. But
they got the partnership of hey,
exactly.
It's our card game and our trading cards and everything. Again, by the way, hashtag not sponsored. But if you want to sponsor us, we're ready, willing, and able.
Exactly. But Naomi, the promo from Naomi calling Bianca out of her name at the end, I think it was just perfect. You saw how Naomi didn't want to lose Bianca, but when she figured out Bianca was going to walk away from her anyway, as Bianca was walking away, you can see the snap in her eyes, and she went straight on hatred towards Bianca. And I think that was just grateful. Perfect. Exactly. And then for her to be silent for a couple of days and then blast Bianca and Jade on social media over the past 48 hours, and the back and forth between Naomi and Jade on social media has been absolutely incredible. I really like this story. I really hope they continue. Triple H continues this trend with the three of them. Bianca is still, and I'm not saying involved in the attack, but Bianca is still involved with the three of them, regardless of her going up against Io and probably Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania. But Naomi was so messy in that segment. She said she didn't want to be messy and then turned out to be messy in that segment. I think it was just pure perfection between the three of them. And I hope this kind of helps Jade and gives a new direction for Naomi over the coming months. And I'm done.
Absolutely. As I got Sami Callihan cutting a promo, but I'll talk over him. There were a lot of people I saw that thought that was the best thing on SmackDown and has been the best thing on SmackDown in a hot minute a little bit. And again, no disrespect, Trinity Fatu, Naomi, if you're watching this, if this ever comes across you somehow, some way, that might be the best thing you've done in your career. I still throw out the beacon and still challenge anybody that wants to throw out this whole idea, well, somebody else is involved. like she even said, every time I try and stand up for myself, you want to turn around and boo me. Like, why is Naomi by herself not a good enough heel as the main star of this? I think that she proved that 100%. I'm not saying you said this, sir, by the way, but
Yeah.
I think she very much proved that in that segment. And I think, like you said, if Bianca's still attached to this, that could lead to her downfall in the match with Rhea and Io because of this, still her mind being elsewhere a little bit.
Yeah,
Every
because
woman's reaction to this has been amazing, by the way, though.
yeah, absolutely. I think it's just been perfect, and a lot of the stuff that Naomi said was a little bit true to a point, you know, in a way. And then the IWC, in a good way, this is a good thing I'm about to say about the IWC. They like to pull receipts, and so they've been pulling receipts of the whole big three throughout the entire year. And a lot of the times when Naomi was out there, challenging for the women's title, Jade and Bianca were not out there to help her. She was out there fighting alone.
Oh,
So
yeah.
and then they pulled up the picture of Jade and Bianca teaming with Kalani Jordan in NXT, and like, where was Naomi, there? So they've been pulling up receipts, and I'm like, okay, Naomi was kind of speaking some things, some truths on Friday.
Is this the best women's feud going into WrestleMania?
I think right now, yes. I do hope Bianca, Rhea, and Io pick up. And I think it did on Monday. If anybody really didn't notice the hint in that segment, that was a segment that they kind of ran back in NXT some years ago with Charlotte, Bianca, and Rhea. And Bianca was in Io shoes because they were trying to leave Bianca out of that like triple threat WrestleMania match that never really happened, but that segment was familiar to that. So I really think they'll heat up there. But right now, I think this is the best feud heading into WrestleMania with the women, because we're not really doing much with Charlotte and Tiffany. Let's just be honest. I know we all want to see that match, but right now they're not building towards it the best they can.
I would just say the story and everything, and the everything from that angle, everything from that segment on SmackDown. And now you even seeing the stuff on social media to where Bianca's just posting pictures or videos of her flipping the double bird. And,
Right.
you ungrateful bitch. I'm that da da da. And no, you just da 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 and everything.
Right.
And good old Daddy Quiche out there, Quiche out there getting involved in everything too as well. So this has the most attention, the most tangible feel, I guess, to it. Of it feels like there's sustenance there. There's something deep in that versus, Tiffany and Charlotte. They haven't made it feel outside of like, it hasn't fully clicked properly yet.
Yeah. Yeah. And we're getting close to WrestleMania. We're about a month out. So they really got to pick up the pace. But yeah, still a month out. But I think they'll pick up the pace.
But we're underway with Wes Lee and Laredo Kid. Who you got for this match there? I saw some people taking Wes, some people taking Laredo.
I think Wes will win because of the big 6-man tag team match he's in tomorrow. So I'm taking Wes here to take the victory.
Makes sense. Now goes over on the go home, doesn't go over on the pay-per-view. Spoiler sacrifice prediction of Wes and crew, Wes and Tyreek and Tyson don't, get the W on sacrifice.
Yeah, I think it'll be the Rascals and oh man,
Ace
I forgot
Austin.
his name. Yes, Ace Austin. The Rascals and Ace Austin taking the victory tomorrow.
There you go. Theater, so they're talking Montez and Jimmy should get in the mix of this feud because of this feud.
I think that would be cool. I also saw Jay tweet out, or not tweet, but he put on Instagram that sometimes you have to crash out and tag Naomi in it, which was pretty cool. Supporting his, his sister-in-law there.
Right. By the way, MDB, I did love the glow, but I still think that her Naomi in that promo was at the bare minimum the best promo she's ever cut. You felt every word that she said.
Yeah, you felt it. Absolutely. Wholeheartedly agree there.
Spaz with another $10 super chat. Good God, my guy. I appreciate you. Naomi couldn't go to NXT because she's not a tag team champion. The floating tag titles brought the other two to NXT, and teaming with Kalani was the champions only team. Parentheses, not a glory hole, but a story hole. That's a good way to put it, but I mean, still sus. But yeah, your thoughts?
Well, I was talking about in a sense of her just being there in general to support,
Fair.
support them too. And um maybe that was the moment where she realized, why should I be there to support them when they haven't really been there to support me with all my title, challengings? Because I think they were only there one time for Naomi when she challenged Nia Jax for the women's title. That's where I was coming from. I wasn't thinking about the tag team titles because honestly, I forgot they had them.
That's going to be interesting, is finding the moment to where Naomi finally just went, first off, you'll click, and then she came.
Right, exactly. I think Damien up here was mentioning that tomorrow there is a street fight between Sami Callihan and Mance Warner, which I am super excited for. About 2 weeks ago, they were supposed to have a match on Impact, and it broke down really quickly, which Santino made this match official that night. So if there's a match people need to tune into tomorrow, this is it, because I think they're going to deliver.
GC dub, GC dub, GC dub, GC dub. 100%. I've over the past year or so become a big Mance Warner fan from seeing him in GCW and his kind of rise through that. And now that he's out there on Impact, and I don't want to say is able to still kind of get away from the deathmatch stuff and everything, but is showing that he can wrestle beyond that. I'm really excited for it. Now, granted, still you get Sammy and Mance and street fights and no holds barred, and we can do whatever we want and everything.
Yeah.
Oh, and we're going to be challenging Tony Storm and Will Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher for droplets and blood out here.
I think so. I think we'll have a lot of blood in this match tomorrow. It's going to be insane.
And Street Fighter is up Callahan's alley. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. And MDB corrected me up here. MDB, I'm tired. So, yes, you're right. It's definitely title opportunities. But I'm tired, man.
Listen, sometimes we slip up, and I like that you catch us on the hiccup, but I get it, man. The wrestler, every time now, I just got to do like the JBL because KJ doesn't do the wrestling god. What's up, Nick? Hashtag WFU4. Yeah, well, the IWC out here coming under heat in different directions for going at content creators, going at this thing, going at that thing, and everything. So maybe it's not a bad idea to be over on the WFU if we walk away from that. Our hands are clean.
I don't know. Shoot, I don't even know really what happened over the past couple
days. If the hashtag don't fit, you must have quit.
Exactly. But this coming weekend, I got to see what happened because there's a lot of drama.
Man, he's got to catch up on all the tea. He's got the new kettle on the tap. Bloodfest tomorrow night. I don't even think it'll be that. Of those are guys that there is still, to me, as we get a 2 count from Laredo, and I apologize if we're talking over every match, but to me, there is a difference between just deathmatch wrestling and guys who are really good at like hardcore deathmatch wrestling style, or extreme. But like that can still tell a story and everything. Like, still, I think it was 2023. One of my favorite matches of the year was a death match. It was Alex Colon versus Rina Yamashita for like the GCW Ultra Violent title or something like that. Again, sounds like something everybody like from Dutch Mantel to Jim Cornette would hate. But they told a story through the match, despite light tubes and tables and barbed wire and shit.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I think that's what will happen tomorrow. They've already told a solid story without even really having a first official match. And I think tomorrow they'll tell a really solid story in their match. We still got to figure out what we're doing with that digital media title too, because we got to put some defenses under it.
Just retire it at this point, honestly.
I think they need to have a different title. Yeah, honestly.
It's lost any bit of traction that it had
here in the victory.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I don't like the name the digital media title at all. They could bring back a TV title or something. I actually have the Legends title now, but they could do something different.
What if you had an Impact Championship and that's not, you're not calling it your TV title? It's not exactly like a TBS title, what have you, but it is kind of your TV title because your weekly show is called Impact.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool. Yeah,
Well, because the digital media thing, it kind of didn't it get all started because of Cardona?
I
And then
believe
it's
so.
kind of
Yeah,
just now it's ran its course. And I think once PCO went PCO and, thought he was building train tracks in GCW, um, it really needed to, like, that title's done.
yeah. I thought they were just going to retire it once he destroyed it, but apparently that's not the case. As the
Well,
Rascals are
the
out
deal
here with
is
Ace
that, yeah.
Austin.
I do like this kind of faction, by the way, of Wes Lee and Tyreek and Tyson.
Yeah,
He has two big heavies behind little Wes Lee.
yeah. I agree with you. I really do like these three together.
The digital media is a horrible name for a
It
title.
is. It
Yeah.
is absolutely.
What is the worst title name right now in pro wrestling? Well, what we watch in pro wrestling. Like, you don't pull up your local indie promotion and say, like, well, they have a blah 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 title. No. Like, well-known title. What would you say is the worst title name?
I was trying to think of something that wasn't the digital media title, but it might actually be the digital media title.
Yeah. It's up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, because does the Heritage Cup count?
I don't think it does, but I actually like the name.
Fair. I actually, well, shout out Doughboy. And yes, again, hashtag not sponsored, but if you get Fight Plus for $4.99, you get all the GCW wrestler over all of that. I didn't know they were on YouTube. I know MLW is, but the TBS championship, yeah, that's a bit up there. That's a bit up there.
I didn't think about the TBS championship. Yeah. Do you throw the TNT title in there too?
Somehow TNT is cooler because here comes the boom, dynamite. Oh,
The true.
Taboo Tuesday title or Cyber Sunday title. Those never existed, though. Not to my knowledge. The trios title, well, that's just 3 in Spanish. That's not even Spanish. I'm never mind. Moving on. I suck. The Continental title. If you couldn't tell we were live, you know now.
Exactly.
Saying the Continental title. Denisha, what up? Hey,
What's up,
Big Nick and
Denisha?
Anthony, TNA time. Well, as we're in another commercial break here, we hinted at it. Damien asked us earlier, how do you
Yes.
feel about Jeff Cobb allegedly on the internal roster of WWE? Not an announcement that he's signed or anything, but that he's on the internal roster somehow, some way.
Yeah, I didn't get to read like the full article if there was one out there. I just kind of saw the headline. I
Mhm.
don't know Jeff Cobb. I'm not one of those wrestling fans that will say, I know this person and then try to
Mm.
rattle off something. I really don't know Jeff Cobb. I may have seen one match or two matches of him. I think he was in AEW for a bit, if I'm not mistaken. I know the dude is huge, like he's a big dude, like a big dude. But if WWE is going to grab him, I would like to see what they'll do with him. And I would obviously, like I try to do when they sign talent that I don't know within either of the three companies, I'm gonna do some research to see, how well he is.
I can do your research for you in about 5 seconds here, but I'm gonna answer John real quick. Of Nick, that was a joke. Yeah, I know. I got the pay-per-views and I got the reference, but it was more talking about like titles that actually existed, or at least were current ones. But anyways, yes, Jeff Cobb. If he is there, and again, I said this in our group chat and everything, I think it's insane that New Japan has had like Gabe Kidd, David Finley, Jeff Cobb, Zack Sabre Jr. You had your world champ not under contract with you. That's a dangerous game to play, especially in pro wrestling right now, where you've got big players with big money. and that have a lot of time and a lot of platforms they can put anybody on. But
yeah,
Jeff Cobb going to WWE instantly, that got spoken out, tweeted out, what have you. My inbox filled up with big beefy boys slapping meat. Bronson Reed versus Jeff Cobb, Otis versus Jeff Cobb, Obafemi versus Jeff Cobb. If they put him in NXT, Jeff Cobb is he's part of New Japan. He's part of Undisputed Kingdom and everything, or was. Pretty much picture if Rhino and Kurt Angle had a child and they grew up in Guam, because man is built like a goddamn tank. Is a former Olympic caliber wrestler, was the flag bearer for Guam in the last Olympics and everything. Like, man is official like a referee whistle, and is a tour de force, moves like a guy, not as quick and as flashy as, say, a Jacob Fatu, but is an absolute powerhouse. Look up a highlight of his finishing move, the Tour of the Islands.
yeah.
It's a reverse power slam of, he literally will catch somebody out of nowhere, and rather than how you normally spin him for a power slam, he does the reverse of that shit. It is a sight to be seen. But yeah, I'm not saying he would be a guy that's instantly like world beater, world title holder, everything like that. It's a huge, solid addition and a gigantic depth piece that could develop.
Okay. I'm gonna have to check him out.
100%. If I can't give him more of a glowing sales pitch,
Yeah,
I don't know how to, because I've been a Jeff Cobb fan for a while.
for a minute.
I'm the Japanese wrestling mark on the channel, I guess, but because he's done most of his wrestling in New Japan, but he's shown up on some of the AEW shows and everything when United Kingdom with Great O'Khan and Kyle Fletcher, when they were first showing up, Jeff Cobb would also be there. And again, you look at the man, he has the physical body built of Rhino.
Yeah, he's huge.
Has the wrestling caliber of like an Angle almost.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna definitely look up some matches of his and check him out. As why Nick was explaining who Jeff Cobb was to me, tomorrow at Sacrifice, I believe Santino said it's a 3-on-2 handicap match where Spitfire and Jody Threat will be Jody Threat and Danny Luna will be taking on the Elegances with George Iceman wrestling. So
you can swear at this point in the stream, I feel, fuck up Iceman, fuck him up, fuck up Iceman, fuck him up. No, maybe one day I can talk about that, but yeah, I got like actual heat with that guy. So yeah, but no, I mean, he's good at what he does. Ash by Alliance, it'd be a great tag match, but if he's gonna get involved, I want Danny Luna and Jody Threat to beat the piss, tar, and leather out of this man. Just for the fact that KJ don't ever pick Jody Threat as a fellow Canadian, and because I'm a big fan of Danny Luna.
Well, I don't have much heat with George Iceman. I will say shout out to him because he did follow me on Twitter this week. I didn't even know until I looked through the notifications, but shout out to George Iceman. But Nick has history and heat with him. So.
I got heat. Long time. There might be a few independent wrestlers, etc., that I might be, friends with some and might have heat with some others. We'll see. Shout out Cole Radrick. Long time ago, Cole Radrick. We interviewed him because he didn't like me calling him Ellsworth. But here, I'll pull up Spaz's $5 super chat as we're about to get Rosemary versus Xia Brookside, and I might take a pause for the cause here real quick, sir. But do you think a super heavyweight title would work? Fatu, Strowman, Reed, Oba, Ivar, Otis, maybe Hammerstone and Cobb. Hammerstone and WWE would be nuts. Creed's Hank and Tank Briggs, etc. You need a big beefy boys, a Haas division title. And would that be, and I'll leave you on this, would that be your BMF, your UFC baddest title, perhaps?
I think so. I think it could be like a huge bad title right there, as my face is covered up by the super chat there. But yeah, I think that would be something cool. But I know a lot of people say that WWE already has a lot of titles here. But back to TNA. So we got Xia Brookside. I always call her Xia Lee sometimes. But Xia Brookside taking on Rosemary. So early in the stream, I kind of mentioned how last week Xia Brookside, I believe, took on Savannah Evans, and the Rosemary was lurking in the shadows, like in the Shadowlands. And that's kind of how we got to this match tonight. So who you got winning? MDB up here says Luna looking sturdy. Danny Luna is a beast and a powerhouse, and I'm hopeful for the day where I love Jody Threat. So this is nothing against Jody Threat. I'm hopeful for the day of the split of the tag team, so Danny Luna could be a singles competitor in the Knockouts division and potentially win that Knockouts title. I think the time is coming for that. That's kind of how I feel there. So Hassan down here says his vote is for Brookside. I got Brookside kind of winning. She needs to win. She hasn't really won much this year or late last year. So I'm gonna need Brookside to kind of take the victory here. That's just kind of me. MDB says Xia Lee and Xia Brookside are basically twins at this point because I always mix up their names. John down here says the dead girl wins, which is Rosemary. So yeah. I think Brookside wins. Well, I should say this. I think Brookside needs to win, but I do feel like they'll give this win to Rosemary. The Real Wyatt says this was also around the time Oba got hot, then the whole heel turn happened, which was really good and everything. Now he's an afterthought. Everybody thought he was going to be like Carmelo Hayes. I believe you're talking about your comment that you made earlier up there about Wes Lee and how he has somewhat kind of fell off. And in a way, when he turned heel on the Rascals, attacking all of them, I thought that was cool. I thought the payoff was cool with Zachary Wentz picking up the victory at one of those NXT premium live events. I can't remember the name, but after that, it did kind of taper off with Wes Lee a little bit. So I kind of agree with you there. He's still great in ring, but I really I really thought at one point that he should have been called up after the loss to Zachary Wentz. But I don't know. It seems like they're kind of delaying the call-ups just a little bit. And we still got WrestleMania season where they like to call up wrestlers, so Wes Lee could be one of those next ones up to the main roster. MDB, that is true. Wes Lee needs to get healthy. Wes Lee was out for a minute there. 9 months maybe. Chat, correct me if I'm wrong. Carmelo Hayes has been available the whole time. I kind of want them to do more with Carmelo Hayes. I really like him to an extent, so hopefully they kind of do something with him there too. We got Xia Brookside jumping from the second rope to a crossbody on Rosemary and a nasty kick. Yeah, and it looks like Xia Brookside wanted to get the pin, but Rosemary rolled out the ring. I think this would have been a good match they could have put on the sacrifice card, but putting it on the night before sacrifice is good as well. But it looks like Rosemary is grabbing a chain here. And this is not a no disqualification match. So if she kind of hits her with this, it's over. I don't. Okay, so Brookside snatched the chain away from Rosemary. I think this is the part where Rosemary may win this. Damien is asking down here, who do you want Joe Hendry to fight at Under Siege or Bound for Glory? Don't have really predictions for Bound for Glory. That's a bit of ways away. That's what 7 months away. With Rosemary with the green mist to Xia Brookside, which turns out to be a disqualification. I think I just heard the bell. Yeah, it's a disqualification. So Xia Brookside did win this match. But anyway, going back to your question, Bound for Glory is what, like 6-7 months away. That usually happens in October. Under Siege, I don't know. Speaking of Joe Hendry, he is defending the title tonight. I don't know though. Maybe I don't know if it would be too soon for Mustafa Ali. I don't know if it would be too soon for Mike Santana. I really feel like they'll do Mike Santana versus Joe Hendry at Slammiversary. That's kind of my thought process at this point. I don't know if Mustafa Ali should be wrestling for the title on a monthly special. I feel like you save Mustafa Ali for a big pay-per-view, which could be your Bound for Glory answer right there. I don't know. I feel like a lot of the times when it comes to TNA, they save the bigger matches for the actual pay-per-views, which they do for a year. So I don't know who I would like to see Joe Hendry face at Under Siege. Honestly, you still got to get through. If you're talking TNA specials and pay-per-views, you still got to get through Unbreakable, which happens in April. Also, Rebellion happens in April, and then you got Under Siege. So you still got two big shows, and one is during WrestleMania weekend, by the way, Unbreakable, before you get to Under Siege. So it's one of those fantasy booking without really knowing what they have in store at this point. You could do down here, Nick, Elijah. That could be one. Elijah at Bound for Glory, Ali at Under Siege. That could be something. That could be something that you can do. I don't know. I'm trying to put some thought into it, but it's kind of hard going far too Bound for Glory. Damien asking what pay-per-view is after Sacrifice. So the official pay-per-view after Sacrifice is Rebellion. Rebellion is the next big type show like Genesis. But the next monthly special, I guess you're calling that a monthly special, would be Unbreakable, which is the weekend of WrestleMania. So WrestleMania is the 19th and the 20th. So I believe Unbreakable is on the 17th, that Thursday, which is not technically a special episode of Impact. From what I'm understanding, Impact is airing that night, and then after Impact, there's Unbreakable. So which is not a TNA pay-per-view. It's a monthly special. It's a little different because monthly specials are a lot cheaper than the TNA pay-per-views, believe me, because I've spent a lot of money on some of the TNA pay-per-views. So Jordan down here, could we see John Cena tonight on TNA? I would say no, only because if John Cena was on TNA, I would feel like it would be a live episode of TNA, and this is a recorded episode of TNA. This would, if John Cena was there, this would have been spoiled weeks ago because the TNA tapings happened about 3 or 4 weeks ago.
Well, speaking of spoiled weeks ago, but you can see me instead of John Cena, who you can't see. Yes, sir. How you doing? How you doing?
So yeah, I don't know. I do think the John Cena Joe Hendry match will happen this year. I feel like
that's not happening on any sort of TNA television. I
don't think it happened on TNA television.
That.
Yeah, I don't think that. If it does, I'll be surprised. But that's definitely going to be on WWE TV.
All right, as I got Macklin out here.
Yeah, we got Macklin writing in some type of journal.
Thought that just came to me.
Mm-hmm.
Do you believe that Macklin is more of a badass and would be one of those guys that could actually do like a hostile takeover thing than Moxley that we're seeing currently with the Death Riders, etc.?
Oh, absolutely. I've always said that Macklin has he's not Stone Cold, so don't get me wrong. He has Stone Cold vibes. He's very cold and callous, and he's someone that commands the crowd when he's out there.
But it's Macklin. Right? It's not Macklin trying to cosplay as Stone Cold.
Right. He just has vibes. He's not trying to be Stone Cold. He just has, a similar feel, right? But it's still.
Yeah, you believe he's the goddamn Punisher out here. That's why he's out there with everything. He's out there right now drinking whiskey around the fire with Eric Young.
Right. His tagline is tag him and bag him. So that just tells you right there that this man is a badass, right?
Right.
But he definitely has that presence to actually do a takeover. I don't know what Moxley is doing, to be honest. I don't
Steve
think
Macklin
Moxley
to
knows
me
what
is
Moxley
always
is
my
doing.
go. Sorry, I feel like I spoke over you, but John Moxley, or sorry, Steve Macklin is always my go-to of showing a guy, of an example of a guy that can go to TNA and completely reestablish themselves, start anew, become something tenfold to what they were before, because um he was out there with, formerly from TNA, Gunner, that was with
Yeah.
James Storm of Why Am I, or the Forgotten Sons. He was part of that, and then he left that, went to TNA, and now I would say has doubled, tripled his value when it comes to any wrestling promotion that would want his services.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He's one that I would like to see eventually, once he fulfills all his TNA stuff. I know he did
Mhm.
just sign a contract. I don't know how long it was for, but that would be one person I would like to see take a step back into the WWE world. Because he really has it. He can wrestle every time he's on the mic. He's clear and concise of what he's going to do or what he's about to do to you, right? And he just, like you said, reinvented himself in TNA. As long as WWE will allow him to keep his same presence and everything, which they have kind of done with a lot of the wrestlers coming over, I would like to see him back in WWE and see what he can do.
Bring him in as Steve Macklin, not as anything he was attached to before
Right.
at all. Like,
And
this is almost a new human being walking in.
yeah, absolutely. One I know a big dream match, was Moose and Oba, which we got, but maybe Oba and Steve Macklin. That's something nobody has really talked about.
I'm more out here over Macklin and Kevin Owens, Macklin and
Ooh,
Jacob Fatu. I just want
yeah,
this car crash upon car crash.
exactly. Seeing
Kaiju big battle out here. King Kong versus Godzilla. I know Jacob said I'm both, but still.
Right. Seeing Steve Macklin and Kevin Owens have like a war of words, that leads to their match. I'm down for it. I'm
I
down
mean,
for it.
Captain America versus Captain Canada might fit right now in the current climate and everything a little bit. Just
A
saying,
little
just saying.
bit. A little bit.
Right. But I got Cody Deaner out here with a microphone. So again, folks, let us know who you're taking, whether you're taking JDC. It's always Dango for me. It will never be JDC. It's always Dango. Um, versus Deaner out here.
Which out of all the matches that I usually can explain how we got here, I don't know how we got to this one.
That's kind of your shtick, my guy. How did we get here? I'm glad that the GPS is proven it's infallible here. Yeah.
Right.
These people don't care about your children. What is this, Brock to Brian Myers? I don't give a fuck about your kids. Yeah, who's supposed to be the baby face and who's supposed to be the heel? I feel like both men are technically heels.
Cody kind of has been playing like both when he's
Ah,
like, I don't want to use that term, but he's more of a jobber at this point. So he kind of plays both roles when he needs to.
gotcha. Well, he's very much playing the role of babyface
Yeah.
jobber here of take the loss like a man. I don't care about you. They don't care about you. I'm just worried about my match tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow
Right.
at Sacrifice.
JDC just told him to be a man. Don't be a
Well,
disrespect to your
so
kid.
we've talked about this before, and again, I don't know how much we've actually talked about the action. I still don't feel like we've done it respect, but of we've talked about with TNA running more of their special shows versus weekly specials, however you want to deviate it, of having a lot of their special shows on a Friday night. That normally goes head to head with SmackDown. It'll be interesting now to see because SmackDown's out there in Barcelona. So it'll, to the international audience and everything, it will air live at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, which will be here at 1:45. By the way, spoiler alert. But that now that it doesn't have something exactly that it has to run against outside of SmackDown will be airing in the US around the same time.
Yeah.
But by then you've got spoilers, you've got this, you've got that coming out, what have you. Maybe people lose interest, VPNs, they watched it earlier. It'll be interesting to see now how TNA does on Fridays, kind of unabated. Like no kind of no challenger. There's still a bit of a challenger, but kind of no challenger.
I've seen a lot of people on Twitter when I had an opportunity to scroll today that they were saying they were going to watch SmackDown early so they can watch Sacrifice. So I think this is in a way good for TNA to tomorrow for a lot of people to have eyes on it tomorrow. I think that'd be awesome. I do hope in the future that they decide to step away from the Friday time slot for their monthly specials and potentially run them on a Saturday or a Sunday. I do know what impacts that is their when they do the 2 nights and the TV tapings and things of that sort. So that might be why they kind of run them on Fridays. But as they continue to progress to go live, and I think in 2026 where we might see them potentially live every week, we can move away from that that Friday time slot.
Well, as I've got Deaner hitting all the 10 punches in the corner here, would it not almost cost the same theoretically, and you're doing still everything, you're going to be there, what have you, if you do the 2-night bookings in a venue, what have you, to where you can do a show and do a taping. Normally, like you said, AEW does the taping and then the live show Friday, what have you. But if you did it reverse, if you did your PLEs, your pay-per-views, you own Thursday night. When you think Thursday night, you think TNA wrestling, whether it's taped, live, PLE, what have you, as JDC picks up the win. So, squash match and a half, but
quick squash
if
match.
TNA owns Thursday nights, and that's where they air their PLEs, and then you do the taping the night after, you get to follow up. You can kind of get, I think, about a week or so of TV out of that because you're answering right off of the pay-per-view to an extent. I think that's the best way to do it, and you don't lose any money because you still got same venues, same times, and everything. You just switch your assets and your attention.
Yeah, a little bit. I think that could potentially work for them in the future. We'll definitely see how they kind of work that in. I think it could happen. I really do think, but they can either run Thursday or run like a Saturday. And I think
Saturdays you get lost in WWE, you get lost in AEW. That's the thing, is to me, if they don't run a Friday because you go against SmackDown. You don't run a Saturday because you go against either Collision or a WWE pay-per-view. Sunday, you can go the off chance and go every other week. That's say an AEW pay-per-view does, but what happens if you collide together? I still stand by own Thursdays. When you think of Thursdays in pro wrestling, TNA is pretty much the first thing that comes to your mind. There's nothing else that airs pro wrestling on a Thursday.
I just think for me personally, I wouldn't want them to replace a weekly show for a special or for a pay-per-view. Because that would, I don't know. I don't, because then I'm not trying to make every company be the same, right? You won't see WWE running a pay-per-view on a Monday night. You won't see AEW running a pay-per-view on a
that's what makes them different.
I just think they've ran Thursdays for so long for TNA Impact themselves. I think they can just run their pay-per-view on a Saturday or a Sunday that's not a weekend adjacent to AEW and WWE. There's weekends out there that you can do
but
that.
then you're
Like
planning
this weekend, there's nothing going on with
yes, then
AEW
you're
and
planning
WWE.
around other companies and everything. I think
I mean,
we've said it. They own Thursdays.
right.
To me, I don't think it's that bad of a thing if you use your weekly TV tapings that are all on Thursdays to develop to a pay-per-view. You can have your taping for the next week's show right off of the pay-per-view, literally the next night after in the same venue. You already do it the reverse way because, like we said, if they were going to do a live TNA, they'll do or tape it half the time. They'll do it in the same venue right before they're going for a pay-per-view because they've already got the venue. So I think just switch it. You own Thursdays. You run unabated. There is nothing else that is going on airing live on a Thursday in wrestling that you compete with.
Well, if they wanted to do that, they would do that with Unbreakable, but they're not. They're literally having TNA Impact and then Unbreakable after. So it's like
That's
it's
just
that's
poor.
why I say they can just run it on a weekend that AEW or WWE is not running. Honestly, I mean, they ran Genesis like that. They're running Rebellion like that. They're running Bound for Glory like that and Slammiversary. They can figure that out for their other monthly specials.
I still think it's just the strongest play. I get that they're doing what they're doing, and it feels Battle of the Belts-ish of when AEW would run Rampage and then Battle of the Belts right after. If you're going to run a TNA and then a pay-per-view right after it, it feels like you're double dipping almost too much.
I mean, true, but replacing the weekly show for a pay-per-view is just I don't like that. I just don't like that theory. I don't know why. To me it just doesn't sit right because
Fair enough.
Yeah, I don't know.
Ariana Grace out here.
Right, we do have Ariana Grace out here though. The liaison. So she's out here to support Corey Jade because I think the Corey Jade match is up next.
Yeah, Mrs. Santino out there of, the woman that every Canadian and every Italian would be happy. Their mother would approve of bringing her home.
Right.
TNAmerch.com, hashtag not sponsored. But yes. Boston replacing a weekly show with a pay-per-view once per month would be stupid, in my opinion, when they can just air it on a Sunday night on a weekend that AW doesn't have a pay-per-view. But then you're booking around another company. That's my only discourse with my response to that. I can see the discussion, but to me, then you're booking on the back foot. Now you're making sure that your storylines pay off when AW's not airing versus we're just going to go with what we've got. We're booking to our limit because we own the time slot. We have no competition. There's not and a WWE Evolve that's airing the same time as a Dynamite. There's not a SmackDown that's airing the same time we air a pay-per-view or anything. There's not a Collision that's airing the same time we air a pay-per-view. We own Thursdays, so we have an open window. We're synonymous with Thursdays. We're still building our audience. We're still growing. We're not the one. We're close. We're up there. We're competing. Own Thursdays. Own Thursdays. Make Thursdays synonymous with TNA. Be the T in Thursdays.
I mean, I kind of get where you're coming from, but also, I mean, I just know in the past, like they've ran TNA Impact and then they did that Multiverse of Madness right after. Mm-hmm. They're not going to let go their weekly shows for a pay-per-view. It's like kind of synonymous in their history that they're not that. And I think MDB kind of makes a good point where everyone already books around WWE, and then when like. At this point, we already knew Double or Nothing was happening on a specific weekend. WWE is booking things for that weekend. I think at this point, wrestling is so big, there's always going to be some type of counter booking to something. But I feel strongly about not replacing the weekly show.
Oh, and that's fair. And like I said, I hear it and I understand it. That's why, again, like we've said, We're the WFU. We're the Wrestling for Life Network and everything like that. We actually have the discussions. We entertain it and everything like that. We're not like, oh, well, blah, blah, blah. You need to delete your Twitter now, Anthony, and everything. 100%.
Taking shots at somebody, I see.
I didn't know. You're insinuating there. You're trying to put that over a fire. I didn't say nothing. I didn't say nothing.
You didn't. You didn't.
No, I didn't.
Waiting there. So we got this big tag team match now. We got Masha and Lei Ying Lee, MDB's girl, versus Tessa Blanchard and Cora Jade.
Yeah, is this the definition of real versus fake? I guess. One's got a fake personality, the other's got fake body parts versus, one's a real martial artist, the other's a real badass.
Right. I really like that Matrix jacket that Masha has on.
I like the kabuki masks and kind of shit like that and everything.
Yeah.
When she came out with that versus, grandma's boy, how much do clothes cost in the Matrix?
I think this should be a good match, and all four of these will be in their respective own singles action tomorrow at Sacrifice.
Yes,
really looking forward to Masha and Cora Jade. I'm not the biggest Cora Jade fan at all, but I think they'll deliver tomorrow.
Oh, Masha gonna hurt that woman real bad.
Exactly.
I'm actually more excited for the artist formerly known as Xia Li versus Tessa. I think that actually might be a better match. No disrespect to Cora, but Masha gonna hurt somebody real bad.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Masha's gonna easily take Cora out, and with Tessa and Xia, oh my god, I want to call her by her actual name, Lei Ying Lee in TNA. I think this is her first special or pay-per-view she'll be on, so I'm excited that she will have that tomorrow as well. So I'm excited for that match too. There's a lot of matches going down that I'm kind of excited for.
This 100% looks like the precursor for a Mortal Kombat tournament. Tell me I'm wrong. Masha Slamovich and Xia Li both look like they would be Mortal Kombat characters.
They do. And I misspoke there. It was actually, I thought it was Cora Jade running to the corner, but it was Tessa running for Masha. Okay.
Again, they're both mannequins, so I figured out. Cora Tessa for the win. Cora Jade, Chicago's finest. Oh, if she's so Chicago's finest, send it back. Send it back. I'm waiting to piss off MDB. Simmer down. So, what did I say? I didn't say nothing. I just you read into whatever you wanted to read into. That's what it is. You read the red words. I wasn't in the red words.
Ooh, Xia Li taking it to Cora Jade right there.
But yes, folks, let us know who you're taking, whether you're taking I guess team is this now Team MK Ultra, just MK for Mortal Kombat instead of the MK Ultra with Killer Kelly and everything.
I actually like that MK for Mortal Kombat. Yeah. I like that. I can't wait till Killer Kelly comes back. I know she has to recover from, being pregnant and all. I think she actually still is.
Well, wait. So if she gets fired from wherever she's from TNA or whatever, can she go on a podcast and say that, they fired her because, they didn't renew her contract because she had a baby and everything like that? While Myron Reed works for TNA. Hey, wouldn't that be fitting? Wouldn't that be apropos?
That's kind of one of the stories I missed with Carmella. I haven't.
You didn't miss much. You just missed salt. You missed raised blood pressure. That's about it.
Raised blood.
But Tessa and Cora right now working over. I'm gonna just call her Xia Li. It's just easier for me. And Cora very much, women's wrestling lately has had an issue, just saying, of keeping fangs from fanging and everything. I get that you're tired and you want to look nice and everything, but functionality versus sexuality is a different thing here. We don't need them fangs hanging out there.
think
we
I
don't
think
need Janet Jackson. They canceled the fucking Super Bowl. We had to deal with the Rolling Stones and shit for a while. So
right.
let's get back to being as good as we can.
I think Trish Stratus said it best on the season of Tough Enough she was a coach on. She was like, y'all got to get things that fit so you don't have to keep tugging and pulling and things of that sort. I think she said it best on that season of Tough Enough.
I want to invoke the knee pad police into Jock Swatch of just to see, it's an OSW thing, but to see how many times a wrestler adjusts their gear and everything. Because there's some ladies out there, just you gotta make sure that shit shimmy and shake.
Right.
But Eric, what up? Christopher's already out here excited for WrestleMania Wing in the Ring. Can't wait. Yes, we do have that coming up. I think that's actually next Thursday.
I think so. Yeah.
I gotta defend my title. I gotta defend the crown. I'm the Buffalo Bills. I finished the story out here. But yes, we got WrestleMania Edition Wing in the Ring. Sorry, go ahead.
I said I gotta be smart and win.
Just as long as your teeth doesn't melt or anything like that. But absolutely 100% check out all of our original content from Wing of the Ring to Wrestling Court to the Let's Rumble podcast. Christ, we had Vinny Pacifico, who our most recent interview was out there on Dynamite last night, taking on the Ops and everything like that.
Yeah. Ooh, Masha coming in with some swift kicks there.
Test your might.
That was nice. It was like a clothesline DDT type thing.
I'm using your own partner against you.
Yeah.
Maddie, thank you for the $2 super chat. Trishy time, Tiffy time. Oh, I'm not reading that last part. You had me in the first half. Wrestling for Life girls. Yeah. Mortal Kombat.
Ooh, big boot to Tessa.
Yeah. Side question: did you ever have a favorite character that you played in the Mortal Kombat games with? Do you have a favorite MK character?
The majority of the time I play with Melina.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just you wanted to see the splits when she got into the ring?
No, Melina from Mortal Kombat.
There you go. She wasn't part of Eminem?
No, she wasn't a part of Eminem.
I was always a sucker for respectfully. Oh, Codebreaker from Tessa.
That was nice.
He's a fucking shining ass wizard. That's a dragon fire, fucking that flying knee there from Masha on the goddamn Tessa.
This is the best match I've seen with Ling yet in TNA. She's been putting in the work a little bit.
I think this might be like the second match I've seen. So good batting average. Good batting average. But no, I was a sucker for all of the kind of the ninja characters and everything. It was always Sub-Zero, Scorpion, Reptile. Get over here.
Yeah, no, I get it. They're the top guys.
They just look cool. They're just that's one of those of I'm picking you because your gear looks cool. I don't give a about anything else. You look
right.
Cool. You look like a badass.
Ooh, blow for blow between Tessa and Masha.
Well, do you not feel that that's your future down the road TNA Women's Championship match?
Absolutely. This is something I could see as quickly as potentially Rebellion, if not Slammiversary. Ooh.
I'm asking now, TNA, and if you do this, I just want the poster, particularly signed by Masha, but you need, if you're going to do Slammiversary and you've got Masha out there and you're going to, whoa.
Ooh, Thunderstruck. Shoot, that was a nice kick.
You've been thunderstruck.
Oh, there goes Cora with the title.
As the ref's got his back turned. Yeah, if you're going to do Slammiversary, you don't involve in a way on the poster Masha Slamovich, we going to have fighting words.
Right.
It slams in the goddamn name. 2, 3.
Wow. That was a match. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, she hits the cross-arm DDT there and just looks straight into hard cam. What's she gonna do with all that chin inside that cam?
She does have that crimson chin from their
You're right.
It's there. It's prevalent.
That's how you know that Doug Dimmadome, owner of the Dougdale
Owner of the
Dimmadome,
Dimmadome.
books TNA.
Her pinning Masha, though, that's definitely a telling sign that that match is happening
Oh, yeah.
soon.
Well, that's leading you down the pathway there.
Yeah.
Do you think that we probably get a Cora versus Tessa match before that? Because they're still kind of eyeing each other, sizing each other up. It is a little Spider-Man meme-ish.
Yeah, true. I think we can get that before Masha and Tessa. And I do know the first time Tessa and Cora were kind of face to face, Cora did say, "I'm not worried about you," and Tessa kind of gave a look. So that could be something in the future here. I feel.
Fair enough. But I'm on another commercial break. Up next, we're getting the TNA Impact, the summit of Mustafa Ali and Mike Santana. What you want to talk about with wrestling?
Besides this right here,
anything. We're in a commercial break.
I'm trying to think of something. I'm trying to think of something.
I can bring up some things and everything.
Seth Rollins. Let's talk about Seth Rollins and CM Punk from Monday Night Raw and how that steel cage match was very, very good. But Roman coming out, attacking Seth, then attacking CM Punk. I think he only attacked CM Punk because he saw Paul Heyman, where I don't know where Paul Heyman came from. Good camera work, because nobody saw Paul Heyman at home coming in.
How do you miss a penguin like that?
Exactly. I wonder if this plays into the factor of CM Punk's favor that he's been asking.
Still wonder what the favor is. Wonder what the favor is. It's the Roman Reigns thing. I think, to me, that whole segment, that whole match, especially with having Roman there at the end, was the saving grace for that Raw, because that Raw, especially in MSG, was not great. It was not great. It felt like it was all just building to the end.
Yeah. There wasn't anything meaningful from Monday Night Raw other than that main event. I'm trying. I can't even technically kind of remember what happened during that Raw.
Exactly.
But yeah, exactly. So yeah, I think Raw was kind of just leading up to that big moment with Roman returning.
Yeah, and again, I think it's a moment we all kind of expected. I saw some people that were losing their marbles and everything over it, but I think we all kind of expected Roman's going to show up. We were at least going to get Roman, Seth, maybe the triple threat, and especially Heyman's in there consoling Punk. And you don't talk to my wise man. You don't know. He's my wise man. I know you have a history. We don't do that around here. So I think this is setting up for the triple threat. I do think I like that there's any sort of avenue. I know you're about to take a pause. I will ask you this really quickly. Of the rumor, Moose might have spread it that Moose and Punk were going to have a bit of a feud, a bit of an interaction.
Yeah, I saw that earlier today, which kind of surprised me. I do know there were when CM Punk, I don't know about like the time frame Moose was talking about, but I do know when CM Punk got fired by AEW, I do know the rumors of there being contact with CM Punk and TNA were actually true, and from what I'm understanding, they did offer CM Punk a good chunk of money to show up in TNA. A program with Moose and CM Punk would be something I would like to see. I think they could really do something there with the two of them. But you know, seeing that rumor today just kind of fueled the fire a little bit more that I would like to see Moose wrestle on the main roster in WWE. I think he can do it. Moose is not the best talker at all, but when he gets in that ring, he doesn't need to talk. He just has to show what he can do, and he's proved it time and time again.
Moose versus Drew versus a Moose versus Punk. Like, I can see it of how they might have been there at some point and everything. But right now, Moose and Punk, I feel like they're a little bit too far in different worlds, a
Yeah,
little
yeah,
bit.
yeah, yeah. Absolutely. For that to happen.
Yeah, Drew might be a crossover as I've got the sit down and the hotel's second floor here. Is this a nook? Is this a cranny? Do we need Thomas from England? Thomas's English Muffins to tell us if this is a nook or a cranny? But they're tucked in here in this hotel having this segment.
Yeah, this might be a nook and cranny.
Yeah,
It looks like I'm gonna take my pause after the segment because I kind of want to see what's going on here. But
fair enough.
Mike Santana looks very, very intense here.
Oh, 100%. And again, it's amazing how we've named now you can name two people in TNA that have pulled off a badass better than John Moxley, AEW's world champion, who's
Yeah.
supposed to be the biggest badass.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I agree with you there. And this feud between Mustafa Ali and Mike Santana really started with Mustafa Ali mentioning Santana's past with addiction. So that's kind of where this all has kind of stemmed from. And then last week, Mustafa Ali ordered a drug test on Santana, and he actually caught Tasha Steelz yelling at someone that had uh Ali's cup, coffee cup. And so he snatched the coffee cup from the guy and looked at the cup where you take the drug test and the coffee cup, and he took both of them in the bathroom. That's where I get the theory that he peed in the coffee cup because Mustafa Ali drank it after and he made a face. So yeah, that's how we got here.
That's that Dumb and Dumber special there to where remember the cop that
Exactly.
pulls him over and drinks the beer and everything like that after they've relieved themselves into the beer and he's
Right.
yeah. But no, it's very much it's reminiscent to me of any time that you see it a lot with Jeff Hardy because of his past and his trials and tribulations. You
Yeah.
see it with CM Punk. I think it was Jericho and CM Punk. Punk might have done it essentially with Jeff Hardy the other way around because Punk's known for being such straight edge and that
Yeah.
being so much a core of him. So it is really interesting that this, and it's to me, it's subtle things of like Santana always wearing the sunglasses. So he really, a lot of that facial emotion is blocked off.
Exactly.
You read so much from somebody's eyes.
Right.
And when you block that off, now you don't know where the
thinking,
character is really at and everything like that.
Yeah, where their
It's
mindset is.
nuances.
Yeah.
Nuances.
Ali just called him an addict straight up.
Yeah, well, and again, this is Ali getting to be the swarmiest. This is Mustafa Ali getting to do the gimmick that he had teased in WWE, I think, to the nth degree. He gets to actually do this gimmick now.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you.
Jericho did that to William Regal years ago. Yeah, Jericho is historic for that. Be a shame if anyone mentioned a certain date in January around Jericho or anything. Where were you around then? But I digress. Yeah, trust me, we have Jera Hogan merch for a fucking reason. Hashtag nuances. We need it. Do we need to start having like a hashtag of the night? Because I feel like we end up with a hashtag of the night.
I think so.
That'll be when KJ's out here doing all the polls. That'll be the final poll and the final opinion of what is the hashtag of the night. And we got to send out a tweet with the hashtag of the night.
Hashtag of the night. I think the hashtag of the night tonight might be MDB saying hashtag championship opportunities.
We'll see. We'll see. So Santana's fighting for every addict out there.
Yeah. I like this segment.
Like bigger, better looking Eddie Kingston.
Oh, absolutely.
I love me some Eddie, but I look like Eddie. Like if I fought Eddie, it looks like a. I know it wouldn't be, but it would look like a fucking even competition. If I was to fight Mike Santana, it's not an even competition.
Right.
Never was, never will be. Anthony, Nick, I don't know the details of NXT TNA deal. Do you see anyone from TNA on this year's WrestleMania card? Oh, I would say no, because I feel like there's a lot of people that we'll see on WWE's roster that might be available that won't be on this year's WrestleMania card.
Right.
The Stand and Deliver card, I think, is a different story.
Yeah.
I will say that you might see TNA WrestleMania weekend, not on WrestleMania.
Yeah, I agree with you. We're definitely seeing some people at Unbreakable. I think that's the real reason why we're having the WrestleMania weekend, and we'll see some people at Stand and Deliver. But on actually at WrestleMania, I don't see it.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Oh no, not he has the wine or the alcohol out there. Oh, Mustafa Ali is doing some work here.
But that's the thing, is he's up there, and it's a subtle way. It's such a subtle thing. It's very similar to Karrion Kross that I've even seen the theory now, if you've noticed, of Kross will wear his hairstyle similar to who he's talking to. As Santana jumps, Mustafa, everybody getting hands.
Yeah.
The good hands, the bad hands, the right hands, the left hands, even an uppercut or two.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Tasha Steelz for a minute. Tasha Steelz trying to get involved.
Pushed her away.
Yeah.
Hey, look, it's America 2025. What?
Oh, please don't open it and pouring on him. He's doing it.
It's Jeff. CM Punk did it to Jeff Hardy.
He did.
Chris Jericho did it to CM Punk. It is the tried and true. It is the staple of the.
That's even worse.
Yeah, that's a little extra fuck you energy of like, I'm not gonna pour it on you and blah blah blah. No, I'm gonna just leave it right there beside you because I know you need to reach for it, bitch.
And he's staring at it too.
Yeah, but that's just,
this is good.
That is tenfold better. That is just you get extra brownie points, TNA, for that.
Yeah, this is good. This is good. Well, I stayed a little bit longer than I wanted to, but I'm gonna take my pause here and leave you guys with Nick a little bit here.
There you go. Anthony's gonna take a pause for the cause. There we go. Now we got it sorted. There we go. As I got a commercial for Queen of the Ring, which again, I'm very surprised that Camille was almost completely clipped out of any sort of advertising for this. Has anyone else actually had an issue finding this playing in a theater near them? Like, spoiler alert, I think most people already probably know, I live in New Hampshire. The closest theater to where I live that's going to be showing Queen of the Ring, or was the last time I looked, was an hour and a half away from me. All due respect, I know I sat there and I was super excited to watch Iron Claw. I still at times will throw it on because it's a good movie. But I don't know if I'm going to watch it or drive an hour and a half one way to watch Queen of the Ring. I might wait till that's streaming if that's the option. I don't know if anyone else to deal with that issue, but I am. Baby wants the bottom. What the? Peace, Sean. What up? What up? I vote for Joe Hendry. Hassan, are we getting that up next? Are we getting Joe Hendry versus IMDb? That literally just didn't click with me there. Took me a minute, 5 minutes to make the page stick together. I vote for Joe Hendry. Do we even know who Joe Hendry's fighting? Is that coming up next? Somewhat. So if Karrion tried to influence Bart Simpson, he'd have his hairstyle. Perhaps. I mean, they've shown it of that's why he had the kind of Calgon take me away look and everything when it came to AJ Styles and selling him on, playing the little devil's advocate in his ear and everything. Again, just a theory, but it's a nice little, if it is a touch, it's, to me, it always reminds me, and it always goes back to everything with the Wyatts, with Howdy, etc. Of they open the door for everything might be a clue to something else later. So now everything is a clue. Like that's why you see some people still going back to like when Dwayne was choking Cody against the fucking ramp and everything like that against the fence there. And then there's John Cena on the production truck. Oh, they were teasing it all the way back then. Sometimes it's happy accidents. Sometimes it's planned out. The fact that we have to question it is the best aspect of it. But with that being said, as I am in TNA, will be right back. I'm in a commercial break and everything like that. I would have to go to the city to watch. There you go. But I will remind everybody if I can. Yes, there we go. We are back at it like a jackrabbit tomorrow. Double header. First, we kick it off. KJ White will be here 100% all the way through Friday Night SmackDown. I can't even say it. Friday Night SmackDown. Friday afternoon, Friday evening, Friday easy at supper time, SmackDown. But 1:45 Eastern Standard Time, we will be here live. Again, we will be here live when they are live because they're out there in Barcelona. So 100%. Whether you're watching SmackDown later, you can throw us on and sync up with us that way and everything. Have you got the chance to 100% watch us live, but 100% that's going on. And then also following up that evening, we'll be here for Sacrifice, as they're even pitching to it as we're getting out of the countdown to Sacrifice is First Class of Casey Navarro and AJ Francis taking on Laredo Kid and Octagon Jr., not Pentagon Jr., not, Oregano Jr., and we're also, they're hyping through the whole Sacrifice card. So doubleheader Friday, 100%. And again, spread the word when it comes to all of the shows now, because WWE is going to be on their European tour. We will be here live when they are live, whether it be Netflix, whether it be Monday Night Raw, whether it be Friday Night SmackDown. When they go live, whether they're the muscles in Brussels or they're out there in Barcelona or any other, cities in between, we'll be here live when they're live. Right? Bonkers, Joe and Brian Myers could possibly, or Chavo Guerrero. Oh, for tonight, for who's going to face Joe Hendry. Probably pull that up, but who's going to face Joe Hendry for the world title tonight? As we're down to the last half hour here, so we're down to the nittiest of the gritties here. Been watching SmackDown at 8 p.m. tomorrow night because work during the day. Fair enough, Dale. But that's the thing, is you can absolutely, at that point, pull us up, easily sync up with us, because we'll give you at that point, you don't got to try and do it with us live. You can sit there and fast forward, adjust, what have you. You can manipulate the algorithms in all your needs. What? You can fast forward and rewind us, as I got Frankie Kazarian out here. All right. Well, I'm going to keep talking about things that are more relevant and more prevalent. But yeah, you can sit there and sync us up with whenever you're watching SmackDown when it comes to the Raws, because still too, for pretty much the rest of the month of March of WWE is going to be airing in the afternoons, and you can watch it accordingly. But we'll be here live when they're live. But yeah, so whenever you watch the Raws, the SmackDowns, anything, even if you're watching us after the fact when it comes to a TNA, a Dynamite, what have you, absolutely. A, show all the love. A, appreciate everybody. And B, that's what we're here for. We're always, you can sync up with everybody. Bye. So we're going to get Kazarian on commentaries. I got Joe Hendry coming out right now. So we don't know who he's going to be facing. Ooh. There we go. It disappeared. There we go. But sorry, minor detail in fluctuation. But I got Joe Hendry coming out right now. Do you believe in Joe Hendry? Do you believe you know who he's taking on? Because I don't. Say his name and he appears. Is anyone else surprised that we're getting Joe Hendry defending the title tonight on a tape show versus at the pay-per-view? We don't have a feud. I get he's in basically their War Games match, just all games, no war. But I think would be setting up to him versus Elijah, and maybe him having an actual singles match versus being in a multi 10-person steel cage match might help a bit more. Your TNA World Champion, Joe Hendry, is here. Never here. I believe in Joe for the win. I like how everyone's Joe for the win. We don't even know who he's taking on, but it's Joe for the win. And that is kind of fitting. Excuse me. Joe Hendry retains. I believe in him. I believe in you, Kyle. Joe Hendry for the win. Yeah, honestly, at this point, Joe Hendry could be taking almost anybody on the roster. You're picking Joe Hendry to win, especially the night before Sacrifice. So Santino's coming out to announce who he's facing. John Cena. It'd be John Cena. They're probably going to build a story in the 10-man match. Yes, and I get it. I get it. That's one of those of you're very much you're long playing and you're slow playing that a bit. Hollywood, Ryan Nemeth. Oh no. So we tease the Hollywoods, we tease the Californias, the sellouts, and everything. And then it's Ryan Nemeth, Captain Lawsuit, the fucking oh Christ, what is the guy who was supposed to be Captain America but wasn't in the MCU? That's now in the Thunderbolts there. But that's 100% who Ryan Nemeth is out here. So we're gonna get Ryan Nemeth versus Joe Hendry. His contractually obligated rematch. Oh, God. And I get he's supposed to be a heel, but it's like bad. Like, so we're gonna get Joe Hendry versus Ryan Nemeth. I know KJ's out here and I haven't figured out yet how to do polls and everything like that. I can just salute your shorts, but do we need a poll? Do we need to ask anything as for Joe Hendry versus Ryan Nemeth, as he's already got him set up here to slam and just end this match? 1, 2, 3. So one move. We gotta have something. We gotta have something. Does Dolph come out here? That can't be it. That I won't allow it. That can't be it. That can't be it. Actually, so Santina is like, actually, I had no business in none of that. That was not the person I had in mind. Do you mind working another time? So he's asking Joe Hendry, do you mind defending it again? So second match of the night for Joe Hendry. So Santino's introducing who he had set up to face Joe Hendry. Is Alex Hammerstone. Interesting as hell. Whoa. So, where do we go from here? We've said that it's been sourced, it's been reported from Spiteful, Doubtful, the Wrestling Blind Network and everything. Because they don't sure as shit don't observe anything, but that Hammerstone's done in TNA. But if he's out here and he's challenging Joe Hendry for the TNA title the night before Sacrifice, where are we going here? Is this his one-off? Is this his go off in that sweet good night? I don't know. But that 100%. Now this is a title match that you almost wonder, could Joe win? Or they definitely might run this back. Like Hammerstone and TNA just kind of works. Now this is where you really, and why we pointed out, always question what you read. Always check the sources. Because, yeah, I get that this isn't live, but Hammerstone's there. And Hammerstone's in the main event and challenging Joe Hendry for the TNA World title right now. I don't know if you do that with a guy that you don't have signed past tonight or signed past then, what have you. So, we'll see. But we'll see. I could see Hammerstone signing an NXT. Well, 100%. Well, that's the whole even conversation with Jeff Cobb, with Josh Alexander. That becomes the question for anybody at this point. Is that the way you get through? Yeah, John. Wow, business just picked up. Absolutely. We got Hammerstoned. Absolutely. Fucking Thor just showed up. Just out there. Another Hammerstone Spellwell match. Could be. But interesting. Interesting that this is what happens with all of the stories coming out, with all of the speculation. Because we really don't know. We really don't know. So we'll see. Either way, hell of a lot better than Ryan Nemeth versus Joe Hendry. I don't care if this is the last Hammerstone match I see. Way better than Ryan Nemeth versus Joe Hendry. Yeah, I don't know what I said fully that you agree with, but yeah, I'm right some of the time. Hendry for the win. TNA has a Brock Lesnar. No, they have a Hammerstone. But yeah. Dirt Sheet is crying right now. Well, again, we'll see. I'm not saying anything because, again, this is a taped one versus a live one. So I don't know. I don't know spoilers. And if you do, I'm glad no one said them yet. B, I also have no idea when this was taped. So this could have been taped last week. This could have been taped yesterday. For all I know. We don't know where this is going with this, but to still see Hammerstone out here, A, just because he's been missing for a bit, and B, to see him out there challenging Joe Hendry for the TNA World title, and he might be staying around. It's all the way pretty fucking cool. Johnny Wrestling, how's it going? What up, my guy? What up? Shout out to you, shout out Devin, shout out, the Tribal Chief, all that. Absolutely. Go and check out the homies and everything. Always appreciate them showing some love. I want Hammerstone versus Obafemi so bad. Well, when it was out there thrown about and bandied about that he was done with TNA and he could have just gone theoretically, technically, straight to WWE, which he still might have. We don't know. He could still show up in TNA and be a WWE guy. Just saying. But him versus Jacob, that's what MLW got famous off of. That's what they built their goddamn company off of. So to see that in a WWE ring, sign me up yesterday. Hammerstone as Adonis. That might be an actual. Leave a comment in the video after the stream, not now in the live chat. Leave a comment on this stream if you want to see us do a tier list of, I guess, the most like chiseled Greek god, jacked up physique in pro wrestling, like who's S tier, who's A tier, all of that. Or even if you just want to see us do any sort of like, leave a comment of what other videos or other content you want to see us do. But now, because you mentioned it, Adonis, it just made me think of goddamn Hercules and Chris Masters and just all of freaking Scott Steiner, all the just juiced up bodies in wrestling. And where would they rank out? Where would they tier out? Speaking of tearing, you might have been tearing in the background, but how you doing, Sam?
I'm good. I see Hammerstone is challenging Joe Hendry, so this is fun.
Yeah, well, is Hammerstone done? Is this a one and done, or is he too legit to quit?
Yeah, I think this is one and done. They filmed, they did these tapings right after the live episode that happened at the middle of February-ish, I think. So, yeah, so I think this is his official last match with TNA.
There you go. And see, that's why we got the fresh on tap source, because I wasn't sure when they taped it, anything like that.
Oh, yeah. No, that's understandable, but it's still, when he said he had wrestled his last match at TNA, I didn't recall him saying like the last tapings. He may have said that, but I do hope he is, potentially WWE bound.
You don't think you get him and Brian Cage and they just become, the fucking deleters of world or something like that? They can go into the Murder Hawks there with Brian Cage, Alex Hammerstone, and Christ, why am I blanking on his goddamn name there? The Murder Hawk. We'll go with that. I can't remember his actual fucking wrestling name right now.
I don't know if I want to see him in AEW. I think he'll work well in WWE. I would hope so.
Well, everyone said for the longest time, until he kind of got the Mohawk attire and everything, that he was pretty much just 2020's modern era Hulk Hogan.
Yeah,
just literally look, aesthetic, physique, everything.
Yeah.
But he's actually right now working over Joe Hendry. Now,
yeah,
suspension of disbelief that this isn't his last match in TNA. Could you see him down the road like this is the feud for Joe Hendry for a bit?
Yeah, honestly, yeah, I would. This would be a good feud. This you got Hammerstone, who is a monster heel, obviously Joe Hendry, the big baby face. This could work. This literally could work.
Right.
I wish he wasn't, gone, but if he's not gone, let's just say it like that, this would work as a feud.
Right. Well, thank you, MDB, Christopher Advance, all letting me know. Lance Archer, yeah. Priest McIntyre, yeah. I forgot about Priest McIntyre.
Yeah.
But yeah, now we're Jeff Cobb versus Hammerstone in NXT. Good God. We need to reinforce the ring.
Crazy.
We need to double the triple the turnbuckles.
Yeah, that would be insane. And from the one or two matches I've seen of Jeff Cobb, he's dangerous and he is huge. So yeah, absolutely.
Right.
John C, yes, MDB is right. Hammerstone faced Oba Ifemi on an episode of NXT. That happened back in September-ish.
Yeah, that happened a while ago, actually. That was kind of the first start of the NXT kind of crossover.
Yeah.
Well, I'm a commercial. I got a commercial for Queen of the Ring. Have you seen it? I mentioned while you were on your pause of, by me, it's not screening a whole lot. So I might wait till it's streaming to see it.
Yeah, I typically now I can't even tell you the last time I went to the theaters. Maybe it was the Purge, the last Purge movie.
Mm,
So I kind of wait until everything comes to streaming. I do want to see it. At first, I wasn't really interested, but as I kept seeing trailers and commercials about it, I do want to see it. I don't know if it's playing around me anywhere though, because I know it's in limited theaters. So
yeah, which is surprising. Yeah, but I looked in and I got to go to a theater an hour and a half away from me because I made it a thing, and I even with the wifey with the missus and everything before we went and saw like Iron Claw, all right, so we're
yeah,
gonna kind of here's some older wrestling, here's some more around this so you can get used to it and everything.
right,
So
right.
I'm intrigued to see this. I just wish it was more available.
I just checked. They're not playing it too far from me. Actually, it says about 6 miles from where I live. So, um, but yeah, I might have to go check that out in theaters. I don't
There
know.
you go. Coming soon to the Wrestling for Life channel. Anthony's review of Queen of the Ring.
Yeah, I might have to go see it. I honestly might have to just. I haven't been to the movies but in a long time. I mean, it's one of those treat yourselves day. I might have to go see that.
Oh yeah, treat yourself. But 100%. I like that now pro wrestling stories are becoming Hollywood movies and
Yeah.
everything.
Like the last one, what was the last big one? The
Iron
Von
Claw.
Erich movie? Yeah, the Iron Claw. I actually got a coworker of mine who knew nothing about wrestling to watch that movie, and she said that was one of the best movies she had watched in a very long time. That movie told a story with that family, and it was good.
Yeah, like I said, I obviously do what I do. Wifey watches wrestling
Mhm.
peripherally because of but even she, that was a great movie. Like we rewatched that movie, and she's not what you would say is a wrestling fan and everything. It's just a good fucking movie.
Exactly. I may or may have not cried in that
Oh,
movie.
you got to ugly cry at least one time watching that. Like there's multiple times you have a chance to ugly cry. I will say I openly, admittedly gasped at one point because I thought I knew a lot about Carrie from the Von Erichs, but I
Mhm.
didn't know the whole amputee thing and everything
Yeah.
and the prosthetic. And when I saw that, that's what I was like, oh.
Right, right. I think it was I don't wanna spoil the movie for anybody, but I believe
Yeah,
it was
the 3-year-old, 4-year-old, maybe 5-year-old movie. Hashtag
I
spoilers.
think it
But
was
yeah,
the one
sorry.
scene where it was, d I don't how can you say that on YouTube? Someone was
What?
unalive, they unalived themselves.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think that was the
Oh,
moment
no.
where
Yeah,
I
I
was
know, Mikey. The
yeah,
that no, there is not a moment you can't get past that scene and not be crying. And yeah, that's
exactly,
the best we
yeah,
can talk about that. If we want to all go on a members only and talk about that, we can do that. But yeah, no.
yeah,
With that, I'll leave it as the world's a whole lot better with you in it than it is with you ain't in it.
right, right.
But I got both beefy men throwing, well, Joe Hendry throwing elbows right now, firing up. But yeah, no, not a dry eye house, a dry eye in the house for that. Oh,
Ooh, that was nasty by
pump
Hammerstone.
kick, drop kick. Joe Hendry just countering and getting this man up for a suplex. Keyshawn, I still can't find TNA on Access. I'm amazed you found Access because I've been struggling with that.
Yeah, I don't have access anywhere.
Yeah, Max. No, TNA Plus is the way to go. Again, hashtag not sponsored. They've changed up all the things and everything, but if they wanted to
Right.
sponsor us, we do a good job.
Exactly.
We do it on the cheap, but we do it for $10 a month. I can tell you that.
Right.
But
Keyshawn, the only app I know you can watch it on is the TNA Plus app. That does cost $9.99 a month. I know MDB has the hookup online. You might want to privately message him to see how you can watch it.
Yeah, he's out there, fucking Captain Jack Sparrow, but you have heard of me.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, because I got the YouTube TV and even Access, I can't access.
Yeah, it's not
It's
on there.
amazing that the channel's called Access and no one can fucking access it. Fucking paradox of a channel. I've ever seen one. But Joe Hendry firing up. I don't know why I looked to the fucking camera that's in my closet, but I did. I got TNA Plus app, yo, it the best. There you go. Well, and it's again, it's like the network. It's like with a lot of things. It gives you open play for like open to a whole back catalog, and at this point, TNA has got a big fucking catalog and a lot of names in that catalog.
Yeah. Ooh. Power slam.
Dawson, sup, Anthony, Nick. Nobody's saying this, but what if The Rock hired Jeff Cobb as his hired gun? People are going to be mad. Mostly diehard AW fans are going to be mad because he's from Guam and he's not Polynesian. He's not from, like he's not Samoan. He's Guamanian, which is a fucking thing, I believe. Yeah. It's gonna. I can see it. Twitter's gonna have a meltdown for 48 hours over that.
Exactly. Twitter's gonna have a meltdown if rain falls.
The wind moved that way instead of that way.
Exactly. What is he trying to translate? A Boston crab. Okay.
Boston crab. Well, is this this at this point is just a lion tamer or the walls of Jericho.
The
walls of Jericho. I still stand by the lion tamer is when you get the actual big arch and you get the knee into the back of somebody.
Okay, yeah.
That's the lion tamer. The kind of the stand-up Boston crab is the walls of Jericho. Then you have the terrible sit-down Boston crab, which he also does half the time as the walls of Jericho.
Yeah.
Is there did you ever have a favorite submission move that you locked on any of your siblings or anything, or any submission move that your siblings locked on you?
The crossface.
Oh, goddamn! Out here, fish hooking motherfuckers.
The crossface. I've had the figure 4 locked on me before, but not like fully locked. And I was like, please don't fully lock it because it was starting to hurt just tying it up. So yeah, it's not fun. It's not fun.
See, you go from the sharpshooter, which you realize doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
Same a little bit with the figure 4. Then you do the walls or the lion tamer, then you realize that's just a chiropractic stretch. So you're just helping everybody with their spinal column. And then it was the ankle lock, because that's the other one of Ken Shamrock out there of like, I might really break your shit. I'll just twist until twist, because little tiny bones up in there. Yeah, that was it. With all my brothers, and especially being the oldest, ankle lock. I could at least grab an ankle.
Yeah, we were rough children.
Well, no, I'm out there snapping ankles. You're out there just fish hooking, mother. So we're just different perspectives, different ends of the same coin.
All right.
As Joe Hendry retains and wins
the title. I believe in Joe Hendry.
Right. Good old fashioned headlock. Never gets old. Yeah, no, it's gotten old. It's been old. The Kata Hajime, though, was
so basically almost everybody from this 10-man tag, I'm sure.
This is how you end it, because now you're going to have everybody else coming out as Moose looks like a big ass leprechaun.
I didn't even notice what he was wearing. That's a perfect match right there.
Fucking rough ass, arms ass motherfucker. What's your name? It doesn't matter what's your name. Put my sister in the figure 4 when she was there. So, yes, 2 comments that you need to leave on the stream tonight. Tell us the story of either you putting your siblings in a submission hold or your siblings putting you in a submission hold, or one of your friends would have you. And also, 100%, if we need to do a tier list of the big beefy boys in wrestling and do, VKM out there of judging who has the best body or what content you want to see us do.
Right.
Well, because everyone was saying out there, Hammerstone's reminding him of, Adonis, and, I was like, Hercules, Chris Masters and everything. So it's who's the biggest Wolverine in wrestling?
Wolverine. So yeah, that's funny. But that's TNA. Right. TNA's ended. So ended with the big
going off the air, like you said, though, of all chaos breaking out before their war games.
Yeah.
Now again, is it war no games, or is it just games no war? Which one?
I think it's war no games.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm excited for that match. I think that's probably main event tomorrow, I would assume. So yeah.
Right, which we will be. Ooh, no, I was clicking the wrong buttons. There we go. But 100%, we will be here live tomorrow night for TNA Sacrifice. 100%. We've got Jeff Hardy versus Moose in a ladder match for the X Division title. We've got Santana versus Mustafa Ali. Yeah. How drunk can they be? We've got Cora Jade versus Masha Slamovich. Xia Lee is taking on Tessa Blanchard. We've got, again, the games no war, the war no games. I still keep forgetting. The half a war games match. Yeah,
we got Moose versus Jeff Hardy for the X Division title in a ladder match. So there's a lot going down tomorrow. I'm excited.
Absolutely.
I think I want to take a different rating for tonight instead of like the 1 out of 10. So if you felt like TNA was better than Dynamite tonight or last night, put yes or no in the chat. Yes for it was better, no for it wasn't. That's gonna be our rating system.
Fair enough. As everyone's in their sevens.
Yeah, I'm in the 7.5 area for the old.
Pay-per-view on TNA Plus for $39.99. It regularly paid for. There you go, Denise. 10-man cage. It's Daz's mission. Sakata Hajime. And instantly, everyone, yes. We're starting the yes movement. Anthony's starting the yes movement out here.
The yes TNA. Movement is back.
Right? Just read about it on YouTube. What the hell?
I think they're talking about the TNA Plus pricing. I think there's a little confusion there, which I can obviously clear up. The $150 version of TNA Plus is for the entire year. That includes the 4 pay-per-views, Slammiversary, Genesis, Bound for Glory, and Rebellion. There's a $49.99 version for 3 months that covers like one of those premium live events or pay-per-views. And then you have the regular $9.99 a month. That's just the app. You can get all the backlog. You can get the monthly specials without the pay-per-views. And that's the version I subscribe to because I can get the pay-per-views cheaper by using a VPN. So, yeah.
Again, hashtag not sponsored, but TNA Anthem. If you want to, we'll do it on the low. You even gotta tell nobody. We'll do something strange for you. Don't be changed. Yes, 100%. Again, we let you know how we get around it and how we can, find it and everything, so you guys can too, and you can sync up with us. But you've got yeses. TNA way better. 7.5 out of 10. 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10, 8 out of 10, 6 out of 10. No Ronan Jeff Hardy versus Moose singles match, X Division ladder match. Fair enough. 8 out of 10. Hell yes. 8 out of 10. They're different payment plans. Thanks, Anthony, for clarifying. That's why we say this man's put the TNA, put the T in TNA.
Right. And for the people that's giving tonight's show an 8, that's great. I wasn't even giving it an 8. I was in the 7.5 range. I think the first hour
you didn't even want to give it a number. You want to just give it a yes.
I didn't. I just kind of wanted to be a troll to AEW tonight. So
no, I don't think it goes. I think it goes without
Right.
stating it a bit in every of you watch Wednesday, and it wasn't just KJ watching, it was the chat, it was a lot of people, even people who didn't watch us, that's a 2, that's a fucking 3, that's a struggle bus, that was swing and a miss just a bit outside.
Absolutely.
Versus tonight, literally, I felt bad because we were recapping and catching up on wrestling.
That is true, but we did
the points more than the action because the action was great.
Yeah, we did catch a good portion of the action. Both hours were great. I felt like the second hour kicked off really heavily with that knockouts tag team match, and then they kind of hit it out of the park towards the end with Hammerstone. So the second hour was really good. First hour wasn't bad at all, but it was good tonight. I would push it up to an 8. I'm gonna stick with my 7.5 though.
Okay, good. I'll go 8. I'll be the baby face here.
Shoot,
I'll win the showcase showdown. We're going Bryce's right rules of he guessed 7.5. Can I guess $7.51? Drew.
$7.51. Okay, I could do $7.51.
Yeah, but that brings you up to an 8. That's what I was saying. I was playing 800. Can I do 801? But 100%, I think TNA is very much staking its claim and making its voice heard in pro wrestling right now.
Oh yeah, absolutely. They're making their mark. They're here for it. And they're trying to grow the company, and I'm here for their evolution of becoming hopefully becoming closer to what they used to be. I don't think they'll ever get to like I don't even want to say that. They might get to that point again. The way they're kind of building. So I'm gonna just be sitting here patient, waiting to see what happens with them.
Am I out of pocket with saying that I don't want AW to ever be again what it used to be? Because I think that they have so much potential to be something more than what they were ever used to be. And there's always that stigmatism around TNA, Impact, what have you. I'd rather they just continue to be above and beyond what they ever were than go back to anything ever close to what they used to be. I know I get hairs, but yeah.
No, I get that. That makes sense. That because if they try to go back to what they used to be, they could also make the same mistakes if you want to put it that way. So yeah, absolutely. I agree with you there. If they continue on this road, continue to do what they're doing, building popularity, booking better and bigger venues, we'll see some great movement from TNA over the next 6 to 8 months.
Oh, absolutely. The keys to the future are held by the hands of the past. But yeah.
Right.
You're always out of pocket, Nick, but not for that. Yeah. I'm not in prison. I'm not out here. Hold my pocket. None of that shit. No.
If I'm ranking the show so far this week, I'm putting NXT at number 1. NXT was a slobber knocker when I caught all of it. I would put TNA second. I would put Raw third because Raw was lackluster until we got to the main event. Let's just be honest there. And then I would put Dynamite where it is right now at 4.
Just last. Just we don't got to talk. Yeah, I can maybe flip TNA and Raw, but
you can flip. You can play around with that one.
It's debatable.
Yeah,
but unless you got anything else, my guy, I believe that does it. Of TNA has gone off the air. That is the go home show. Like I already got it pulled up, folks. Reminder again. Reminder. Clip this. Time stamp this, whatever you got to do to remind yourself. SmackDown tomorrow. We will be live at 1:45 Eastern Standard Daylight Savings Times. We will be here when they are live out there in Barcelona. Same thing when it comes to the Raws when they're out there in the Muscles and Brussels and beyond. We will be here live because we've got the great Canadian Hope, KJ White, out there who's got all the access to where being live when they're live. So we'll be here. Tune in. If you can't make the live stream, being there live, we got you on the replay. We're literally going to have moments to where you can sync up, time it up, and everything. So you can watch us right along as you're watching it. So 100%. Reminder. Set your alarms. Put your clocks forward, behind, whatever you got to do.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We'll be back tomorrow for midday SmackDown 145. As Nick said, reminder to be here for that. And then tomorrow night, sadly, I won't be here for the sacrifice stream as much as I want to. That may change, but right now it's not looking likely. But tomorrow night, sacrifice 7:30, pre-show starting at 7:30, main card starting at 8 is looking pretty good for sacrifice tomorrow.
Anthony will be the sacrifice for sacrifice tomorrow night. Yes. Saka, what up? Wrestling for Life Network over anybody. Absolutely. Hashtag reminder. That might be the hashtag of the night. Last hashtag of the night. Hashtag reminder. 1:45 p.m. on CW. No, SmackDown will still be he's got it on Netflix, so you need a VPN if you're going to be watching it that way. That's going to be the whole. Anyways,
yeah. SmackDown is still airing in the. Yeah, SmackDown still airing at 8 o'clock local U.S. time, but tomorrow it will be live across Netflix because they are overseas. So that's happening at 2 p.m., but our stream starts at 1:45.
Yes, internationally it'll be on Netflix. Domestically within the U.S., it'll still air on the USA Network at 8 p.m. Now, with the Monday Night Raws, Netflix across the board airs at the time it airs internationally. And if you want to watch it when you get home from work, it's there for you. So that's very much then. Hit that bell notification because then you can always still go back there. If you're watching it at 5 p.m., 6, 7, 8 p.m., we'll sync right up there with you.
Absolutely. Everything that Nick said. And if Nick is ready to take us out, I'll take us out, right?
Fair enough. I was going to say, I'm out here doing all the sales pitch, all the pre-advertising because we're going to be here in the afternoons instead of the evenings.
Absolutely. But like Nick and I have both said already, reminder, we will be KJ will be here tomorrow, 1:45 for midday SmackDown. And Nick and KJ will be back that same night for TNA Sacrifice. Both shows should be great. This was a great stream. Another great episode of TNA. Nick, take us home.
Our shit is real. Our shit is raw. Our shit is all authentic. When you're talking about a wrestling, you're going to put that full life with it.
We'll see you in the next one, guys.